Well, how's it going, everyone? Chris Hare here, the World Champion Crypto Cowboy, and we're going to do a little video on liquidation heat maps today, what they are, how they work, and what I use them for in my trading strategies. So we'll get into it, we'll figure it out. We'll go ahead and get started here. And I've got one pulled up. I like to use the ones on coinglass.com. Right now, I've got a Bitcoin liquidation heat map, and you can see there's a couple of different ways you can do this. First of all, you can change these colors with the boxes that are on there. You can see there's green. There's another one that's blue. You can get different colors. I prefer the red. It's just easier for me to see. But you can also change the threshold. This would brighten and darken these lines in here. And it would just show you these pockets in different phases, however you want to do it. You can change this. You can go anywhere from a 12-hour to a 1 year. I typically trade 4-hour charts with 1 hour entries. So the 1 week works really well for me. And then I use the yearly to figure out on the macro, like the biggest picture of what's going on. But you can adjust this to fit the time frame that you're going to trade. It works pretty well. You can also change your crypto here. You can go in and type your crypto if you wanted to check out Ethereum or Solana or just whatever. You put the symbol in there and it'll pull it up, and it'll also give you different exchanges to use. I usually use Binance because they're the largest, and you get a better idea on where liquidity really is. But you can go back and you could look at Hyperliquids or whoever you wanted to and see exactly what's going on. What these lines represent is what market makers use to track your liquidity with. So everything above price action would be a short trade, and everything below price action would be a long trade. And if you hover over on this right side, it gives you the liquidation leverage and how much is open. So there's about $1.2 billion worth of short trades all the way up to about 93,878 here. And if you go down to the bottom side, it's going to tell you what there is from like 83,434 here, which is about $1.36 billion in liquidations. The brighter the areas, the higher the concentration of liquidation points. So you can see Bitcoin came up and grabbed this. It's gone down. There's a void here now. So it may come down. At some point, it's going to want to grab these, but it also may want to come up and grab these as well. You can see they're brighter, and that's what it chases after. It's the same over here. I think they just moved this as price action moves around because it would be hard to put these liquidation points in there. So they just show up on the left side instead. And if you hover over them, it tells you exactly where those points are. This one's at 88,248. This bright pocket's at 89,804. This pocket's 90,989. And it also tells you how much can be liquidated at that point. There's 58.5 million at that dollar range that could be liquidated. So that gives you a pretty good idea. Like I said, you can change anything you want on it. It does offer some other things, but like on a macro chart, this is why I use it. You can see it's pulled out the low from about 74,000. So it's basically pulled everything from the Trump pump here and then all the way back down. This is after the Trump pump and then all the way back down to where we are now. And so you can find out how much liquidations are completely on the books, 4.09 billion worth of longs, 11.3 billion worth of shorts. And, you know, market makers are going to want to go to the heaviest pockets of liquidity, which right now on this chart is above. So that's how I use the liquidation heat map. It kind of gives you a pretty good idea and a pretty good understanding. I use them before every trade. I use them before I do my TA. It gives me a pretty good idea of where we might be going. And then when you get into the charts, things start to make a little more sense. But I hope you find this informative. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out in the crypto school. Thanks for watching.